calculated to divide the time took to look inside and realize the real guys go for real. Down to Mars girls. Now my team, all brothers I ride with, though I got no will. Brothers we scheme, trying to come for bad bitch. All this light skin shorty that can rock them hips. Goddamn, but she frontin'. Say she only messing with the fox with her. Caroline, oh Caroline, here's a nickel for your thoughts. I'll give you what I got. Cause Caroline, you a dime and I'm still the same boy rocking Levi's in the fitted. Same boy downtown living. Let me show you round town. I've been around girls, but I can't front. I ain't been around too many women. Wait. Pardon me, you a bitch with lips that I would kiss, but shit, your shit stink. So quit tripping, thinking that we on the same damn page. Dumb bitch, I'ma leave that shit blank. Caroline, the guys would say she's mighty fine. She's mighty fine.
What up? What up? Hey, before we get going, can somebody in the Twitch chat let me know if you can hear me on Twitter Spaces? I've got a blank screen here. Can't see anybody. You know the way this works. I'm trying to figure out if they can actually hear me, because I can't see shit. Let me know. Y'all can hear me in Twitter Spaces, not Twitch. I need Twitter Spaces sound check here. Well, hello there. How is everybody? I don't know who's in the Twitter Spaces because I can't see you, but hopefully that changes here. Welcome back. Can't believe it. Thought I was going to go the whole summer there without a uneventful free agency. There was no big free agents. We still haven't learned where DeMar is going, Kawhi, all the above, but anything to talk about? Doesn't let up, does it? There we go. Now I can see everybody. It's a beautiful thing. I'm actually excited to do this. I waited on the timing on this, by the way, because first of all, I didn't want to go live as the Avalanche. I'm still battling this cough, still, weeks later. Forgive me. But I didn't want to go live during the avalanche of news dropping. Luka Doncic was just playing in the Olympics. And that just wrapped up with Slovenia going through to the semifinals or quarterfinals or whatever the hell it is. But this is the right time. We're going to do this leading all the way up until Team USA tips off around 12:30 Eastern time here in the United States. So take some calls here for the next 2 hours. And I'm excited. I said I was excited to do this, first of all, because now we get to go back into including every single team. And before, during the finals and the playoffs, we were really only talking about certain games, certain teams, certain players there. Now everyone's got stake back in the game. Now everyone's got equity. Everyone's involved in the process of the news cycle that is the current NBA. And yes, to the people on Twitch here making fun of my outfit, I did just get off the golf course. I spent the day. I may have tried to make sure I walked off right at about 5:50, and then I wanted to get back here 6 o'clock because I knew maybe it'll start draining. And the news rained like Armageddon fire in those first 5 minutes. So I'm going to start the whole monologue before I start taking calls here. Is tampering. Why do we even have tampering rules? No one ever obeys them. Why do they exist in the first place? They exist so that someone like Magic Johnson, when he got fined, can't go on to Jimmy Kimmel Live and say this person should be a Laker. Draymond Green can't go on to Inside the NBA and say somebody get Devin Booker out of Phoenix. Let's just call tampering what it is. It's just if you're a complete dumbass about something in players, then you're going to get fined for it. But let's not act like that these are rules in which people are actually abiding by. They're the same rules that apply to SEC football that says before this season you couldn't pay players to go like, oh, well, you know what? We just happened to have a $100,000 Range Rover drop into this guy's driveway. I mean, I lived with college football players. I saw all the shit that went down. You know what the easiest way is to get those guys money, by the way, is you hire them as delivery boys. You hire them at a restaurant. And then when they're delivery boys, they go and drop off a sandwich. They legally, since they're working, they get paid, what, $7 an hour? They would come back with $10,000 tips. There's nothing wrong with that. But let's not act like everyone is playing by the same set of rules here. And that's my piece on tampering. It's just funny how nothing is supposed to happen until 6 o'clock, and then we get 10,000 deals all at once. Hi. Welcome in. We got this is the most amount of people I've seen on Twitch in a long time. They're all in here making fun of my outfit. And if you are in the Twitter Spaces lobby right now, you want to join us over on Twitch, they're over here talking shit about you. Some people are nice, but whenever you come to the front to speak here, just know there's a big audience of people over here that are analyzing everything that you say. All right. So spoke about tampering. The big winners of the night, the Phoenix Suns. First and foremost, the biggest liability that they had during the end of that postseason there was front court depth. Front court depth. When Dario Saric went down, you had to ride Frank Kaminsky in an NBA Finals. And they got good minutes out of him, but that felt like an absolute anomaly. Getting three-time champion JaVale McGee, Olympian, potential gold medalist Olympian JaVale McGee. To add on to this roster to back up DeAndre Ayton is one year for $5 million is the pickup of the night. That's going to take so much pressure off of Ayton not having to play 40 minutes. It's ridiculous. I mean, Ayton gave you everything that he could. He emptied the clip in terms of his potential and his development. But having JaVale McGee there to back him up will let Ayton be more aggressive. You can take back-to-backs off. You're not going to lose a whole lot. JaVale McGee is an incredibly athletic, bouncy, knowledgeable, and despite, of course, him being the Shaqtin' a Fool MVP, he is an extremely knowledgeable basketball player at this point in his career on a veteran-laden team there. And I feel great about that. And also, you get Cam Payne back. You see TJ McConnell go out and get 4 years, $45 million, whatever the hell it was. And you get Cam Payne back for a fraction of that. You see the contract that Derrick Rose gets. You get back Cam Payne, who was at times in a couple of those series there better than Chris Paul when Chris Paul was just coming back from those injuries. You got him back at a drop in the bucket compared to what he could have gotten from some crappy team, most likely. But he did tweet it. You saw I retweeted it right when it got going there. That Cam Payne back in 2020 said, I really want to be a part of this team and I'm willing to do pretty much anything for it. It was a quote tweet of Mikal Bridges, and boy did he back that up today. He really did. By taking that pay, like his agent must be up in arms. His agent was probably expecting a big-ass payday, and he went with the loyalty. People ask, what is your loyalty worth? Well, I think Cam Payne did a really good job of putting his price on it today. Again, these aren't peanuts. People are trying to act like a campaign is playing pro bono in the Twitch chat right now. Like he's doing this for charity. No, he's still getting paid millions of dollars, all right? He's making more money than pretty much all of us will combined. But what he played for in that postseason and how well he played, it would not surprise me to see him get a $50 million contract and be either the starter on a bad team or... And there was plenty of teams there that had plenty of money to spend. The New York Knicks need a point guard, and they needed one. I guess that's a good segue here. So you got the Phoenix Suns, who took care of the one hole in their armor, which was a backup true center behind DeAndre Ayton to give him a breather or spell his minutes a little bit and not have to worry about, does Frank Kaminsky have it tonight? Can Dario Saric guard anybody tonight? That's no longer an issue. The New York Knicks. And it's hard to be disappointed in a team because that means you have to have expectations in the first place. And where Knicks fans coming into last season, I'm on the record on this exact show telling you guys that I would have signed up. I thought 500 would have been an absolute miracle, and I would have, anything past that is just playing with house money at that point. And I still feel that to this day. But now that they kind of proved that they can be a playoff contender, just meaning one of the top 6 teams in the Eastern Conference and avoid the play-in tournament. You retain the talent, Nerlens Noel and Alec Burks. That's all fine. I'm fine with those deals. But the Evan Fournier deal gets done at practically $20 million a year over 4 years. That's a little... On the surface, of course, I'm like, oh my God, no he didn't. But the third year is a team option. So that takes a little bit of the sting out of if you're not in love with Evan Fournier. And why I put FIBA as one of my biggest winners of the night is because Evan Fournier is absolutely killing it for France right now in Tokyo. Him, Patty Mills, and Ricky Rubio have become Kevin Durant, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and LeBron James. Every time that they put on their country's uniform, they turn into that. And Evan Fournier may have just got himself an $80 million contract out of it. Now, it's funny is because I sit here and complain about Evan Fournier a little bit. What did the New York Knicks need more than anything? They needed three-point shooting and someone that can create their own shot, which Evan Fournier checks both those boxes. Is he a little bit better at creating his own opportunities than somebody like Danny Green at that price tag? Yeah, but Danny Green is a very good defender that makes up for, what Evan Fournier has given you in the offensive creation department. So I'm sitting here saying that money could have gone to Danny Green. And if you're going to bring back Derrick Rose, did you need Fournier in the first place? And the Derrick Rose deal, Derrick Rose's season with the Knicks last year was an anomaly in my opinion. I mean, the guy's an MVP. I know. The guy's still really good. I know. I saw how good he was. The only guy that could score in that series, the Atlanta series. But it just feels like to me that we squeezed every drop out of the orange. And I hope he proves me wrong because I'm going to continue to cheer for him now that he's on my team. But my question back to the Knicks is, as it is for a couple of these teams, and it is for the Knicks every free agency, who are you bidding against? Who are you bidding against? Who out there was going to give Derrick Rose a 3-year, what do you make, $40-something million? Who's offering him that amount of money? Especially after the contract he was on last year. Who's offering him that? No one's giving, you could give him that for 1 year, but 3? That's why I need to see if that third year is non-guaranteed. Because if it's not, it's a lot easier pill to swallow for us Knicks fans. You exchange, essentially, Elfrid Payton for Evan Fournier, and that's a serious upgrade. So I'm not going to sit here and talk myself into the Knicks or all of a sudden championship contenders, because they're absolutely not. But I think they just guaranteed themselves probably 5th or 6th place for the next 3 years, and it is what it is. Maybe they'll win one playoff first-round series. Unless Julius Randle and RJ Barrett are going to take a leap that is unforeseen. I don't know. Maybe it's because I came in. The key word there was expectations from a Knicks standpoint. The expectation was that with all of that cap space, I would not have been against just, if you're going to sign Fournier, that's fine. But why don't we leave the space there and wait for the next disgruntled star because you'd be above the salary cap floor. Why wouldn't you just wait for the next disgruntled star? We know that's either going to be someone like Karl Anthony Towns, De'Aaron Fox, Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum. I'm not saying they're disgruntled right now, but those are just some names that come to mind here in terms of guys that may be available at some point in the next 3 years, depending on how things go. And there's always a disgruntled star in the NBA every year. Jimmy Butler, James Harden, Anthony Davis, you name it. It's going to happen. It feels like it's one of those names. And if you're the New York Knicks and you have that cap space available, turning around a deal with room and not having to match contracts like that to the exact dollar amount felt like maybe it was a better thing to do than just like emptying the clip on the guys from last year's team. And if you're going to do that, I'm fine with it, but why go back to the 1-year deals here and continue to turn them over year after year and reassess then? Just 3 years is so long to me. In the NBA, that's an eternity. But I will reluctantly trust Tibbs and trust Leon Rose because they've earned it. To this point, they have proven with the guys that they had in that locker room last year on a team in which a miracle would have been 500. You had New York Knicks fans in the streets celebrating in April when the team got back to 500, or March, or whenever the hell it was. Those were where the expectations were at back then. But I ask again, who are you bidding against? Some comments here in the Twitch chat before I start taking some calls about Dennis Schroeder. Man, I hate piling on the guy, but I kind of don't because he made his own bed. He's got to sleep in it. The man who turned down a gigantic contract extension because he thought he'd be worth $100 million. He may still end up getting paid there, but it's going to be a sign and trade if he's going to get that money over. He's going to be sent to Washington. And every second that goes by, it makes you think that does Washington want to take on that deal? If they could get the sign and trade done for Westbrook and Kuzma and KCP without him, like, we don't want to pay Schroeder $80 million. Get him away. Get him out of this sign and trade. I don't know if that's the case, but you have to wonder what the Washington Wizards are thinking after pulling off an incredible offseason of their own. 2 straight comments of what are the Spurs doing? Now because I am very much trust the Spurs, as I'm going to sit here and tell you trust Thibodeau and trust Leon Rose. Always trust the Spurs, right? I mean, they've earned that. They've earned 20 years worth of they know what they're doing. Stop questioning us. We always have a plan. But who are you bidding against for Doug McDermott? 3 years, $40 million. Who are you bidding against with an injured Zach Collins getting that type of money? They must really like those guys. I don't get it. I'm sure they'll prove to us otherwise because they are the Spurs. But I don't get it. Who are you bidding against? Real quick, personal opinion, just as John Collins will be back with the Atlanta Hawks, just from people I've spoken to. I'm not going to tell you who that is, but just my gut feeling tells me there's an 85% chance John Collins is going to re-sign with the Atlanta Hawks one way or another. Or I have been told by said source. Again, sources, fuck sources, by the way. Like everyone every source is always wrong unless it comes from one of 3 people. My sources, if you want to believe them or not. And if you do enough digging, you'll see as to how I know this. But 85% that the Hawks have told me they will not let John Collins get away on a restricted deal. So we'll see. Moving on. I think we should take some calls and just dive into it instead of me just rambling. It's the whole point of the show, isn't it? There's some familiar faces out there in the crowd. Good to see y'all again. Y'all know the drill by now in here in the Twitter spaces. Request if you'd like to speak. I'm going to pick people randomly. What are you going through? Are there any Kings fans out there wondering why did we just sign Alex Len? Any Detroit Pistons fans trying to figure out how Cade Cunningham has been welcomed with Team Canada and Kelly Olynyk, Corey Joseph, and Trey Lyles? Y'all can't do any better than that? God damn. Who wants to lead us off with the first call, Twitter Space Radio Roulette call here of the 2021-2022 season? It's going to be Billy. Oh, God, it's a Laker fan. Billy Krellin. Lead us off, my friend. I can hear you. I can hear you.
Bob.
Yes.
How you going, mate?
What's up? I do.
I'm from Australia. I've tried to get on bloody heaps.
Well, welcome in from Australia. First call of the night.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, I'm a Russell Westbrook fan. Followed him all the way to the Lakers. How do you reckon that's going to go down this season? What are your thoughts?
I think the Lakers did a really good job tonight of surrounding a team with no shooting. All right, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, when LeBron is probably your best three-point shooter, you got to do something about it. And by bringing in, I sat in this. I did a Twitch stream the other night. I got asked the question, like, how did the Lakers save their spacing issue? I'm like, go get Wayne Ellington. Just trust me. Go get Wayne Ellington at all costs. And they did. Wayne Ellington is an immediate remedy to your floor spacing issues. That man is a walking three-point bucket. He is the West Coast Duncan Robinson. Just because he's played on some crappy teams, do not underestimate that he is shooting 40% from three-point land. He is wet, and he can D up as well. So you're looking for 3-and-D guys to replace the Kuzmas, the KCPs, and now the Carusos as well. And you get Trevor Ariza there, who's that exact purpose. You have Wayne Ellington getting the band back together. I'm not so big on Dwight Howard, but I don't really care about that because what you guys need is 3-and-D. And if you use those bird rights to get THT back as well, I'd feel a lot better about having Westbrook, Davis, and LeBron out there at the same time, knowing that we could have Ariza and Ellington flanking them in the corners. That spacing goes from packed subway during rush hour to very doable, even with Westbrook on the floor.
Yeah, I don't know about the Dwight signing that much. I'd rather AD at the 5, I'm hoping, but I don't know, it seems they're stocking up on centers again.
I hear you, man. I hear you.
Yeah.
It's going to be, thanks for the call, man. Australia, I'm going to turn these calls over pretty quick just because we have a lot of calls to get to tonight in a short amount of time. So please don't, we have a news here that Richaun Holmes has agreed to a 4-year deal worth $55 million to return to the Sacramento Kings. And thank God the Kings are able to pull that off because if they lost Richaun, it was their one big guy. They had one big guy. That's not even a true center. And it was Richaun Holmes. And they got him back, thankfully. Alex Len felt like Richaun Holmes' insurance there for a second. And I'm sitting here like, you're buying insurance from Saul Goodman if it's Alex Len. So that's good. Richaun Holmes is really good for the Sacramento Kings. They're still not going to be able to guard their own shadow, but it's there's only one way to go in Sacramento. So that's good for them. There will be some Chicago Bulls talk as well. I personally don't know what the hell they're doing. They're just deciding to add every backcourt free agent / restricted free agent / wants to be traded to their team when they have Kobe White. I don't get it, but we'll talk through it. Going to Victor. What's up, Victor?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can.
Hey, noticed you haven't mentioned the Heat yet. They added a couple new players in PJ Tucker and Kyle Lowry. Just wanted your thoughts on that.
So, I forgot who said it originally. It may have been Dan Le Batard. It's most likely Dan Le Batard because he's the Miami guy, but let's just assume again that it's him. If Dan Le Batard said that Pat Riley is not 76 years old just to build a team for the future, it was something along those lines, meaning, do you really think that man, 76 years old, is trying to build a team 5 years from now? No, because he may not even be alive 5 years from now. He's here to win right now. And when you trade, excuse me, not when you trade, but when you don't trade Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson, knowing that these guys are eventually going to have to get paid at some point, right? It's just all in on the team that they had. So you bring in Kyle Lowry, of course. Jimmy Butler's already there, and we got into the whole offseason a couple of weeks ago when Jimmy was kind of subtweeting about not getting his max, and he's thinking about leaving, and he got his agent blowing up reporters on the internet because they're leaking certain rumors about how Jimmy wants out. But everyone got paid in Miami. Everybody. This will be your team for the next half decade. And to be honest, you got to feel pretty damn good about it. Because whether there's a sign and trade with Goran Dragic, I'm assuming he has to go somewhere, and you're probably going to lose someone like Precious Achiuwa as well. But at that cost, you're assembling this squad of Kyle Lowry and Jimmy Butler and Duncan Robinson and Bam Adebayo. I mean, it still has the guts of the team that made the finals in the bubble, and you're adding an elite point guard finisher in Kyle Lowry. Now, I don't soon forget how good Goran Dragic was in that bubble postseason before he got hurt. So if Kyle Lowry at this point in his career can give you what Goran did in those couple of weeks, I certainly think this can work out. I kind of foresee just at this very moment as Miami probably being the third best team in the Eastern Conference that can surely get to a conference finals. I don't know if this team just on paper right now without seeing them play together is enough to overcome the Brooklyn Nets if they're healthy. But that's why they play the games, and depth is certainly important, and Miami's got it, right? And I know last year was kind of the lost season there for Miami. They had that finals hangover for a really long time, but they sure had some depth on that team. And even despite losing Ariza and Iguodala and those 3-and-D dudes that make up the chemistry and the foundation of every championship squad we've seen from the most recent years, I think they did a pretty good damn job of filling in the holes in the armor tonight.
Yeah, man, definitely agree. Thanks.
You got it. Thanks, Victor. If you guys can just remove yourself when you're done speaking so I don't have to boot you from the room, it would be much appreciated. Thank you. Going to Parker Morgan. What's up, Parker?
What's up?
How we doing?
All right. I'm a Jazz fan, and I'm not 100% sure what we're trying to do right now. The GM keeps saying we have a plan, but we just signed Conley, who's always hurt in the playoffs, to a massive contract, and we got rid of Favors, so we're kind of back to where we were in the bubble playoffs.
Yeah, but Conley was really good for that team last year, man.
He was good.
He got hurt.
He was good.
He got hurt, and it didn't translate to that series against the Clippers. But I think Conley earned that contract during the regular season because he really carried that team when either Donovan Mitchell was out or he didn't have it that night. Conley really stepped up after a poor performance when he originally got traded. So since you are hamstrung with your cap space there, letting Favors go for that reason. There was even rumors about trading Joe Ingles at some point just to kind of stay under it. You have to use the rights that you have, the ability to go over and sign the players that you currently do. We knew this was going to be the case with the Jazz the moment they made this trade in the first place and took on that contract. Was there's really going to be no room for flexibility. And you do that because name me the last major free agent that has signed with Utah. And this is not meant to be a diss at Utah, but I'm just telling you, like, who's the last major free agent? Even Gordon Hayward left, right?
Yep.
So unless you're already there, like Donovan Mitchell was, to get a massive extension, I think you have to sign the players that you can. And Mike Conley was the only guy in the NBA that could go over the cap in re-signing. I don't know technically if those are bird rights or exceptions of some kind. I'm going to need Bobby Marks for that. But this was a guy that will enable them the space necessary potentially to go get a veteran minimum guy out there to replace either Derek Favors or add to the depth from that bench that they most desperately need. But you can imagine this team is going to look a lot like it did last year for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, and the other problem is we drafted a point guard. So the one spot that we needed, we didn't really fill.
Well, it's day one. It's not over yet.
True.
And that's I'm sure there's a plan in place. And Ryan Smith does not strike me as a guy that is going to be cheap, especially with just taking over the team. Dwayne Wade there as well. I imagine the pockets go quite deep. And knowing how close they were to making the finals, being the best team in the NBA during the regular season, I would anticipate they're not done just yet. But, of course, there is certainly reason to worry. Thanks for the call, Parker. It's not giving me an option to remove you guys as speakers, so this looks like a Bulls fan. I think we got Lonzo. He's already got the Lonzo Chicago Bulls Photoshop in the AV, and he dropped, just like Lonzo's 3-point percentage. Going over to Keem. Talk to me, Keem. What's good? Quick connects tonight. He's there. He was there. Y'all could see him. Keem, you there? Going once. Nope. Now he's connected. Of course it's glitchy. Why would it not be glitchy? It's been glitchy every time we run one of these. There's always something different about it. I'll get you next time, unless you connect. Look at this Hornets fan. Look at this Hornet. What's up, Big Daddy? What's your Hornet wearing? Are those Tim's? I can't tell.
Yeah, it's Tim's in a Knicks hat.
Fair enough. What's up?
So I'm a Knicks fan, and I want to talk about like one of the deals specifically they did today, which was Nerlens Noel. I was kind of figured that he'd go to another team to start, so I was a bit surprised they brought him back, especially for 3 years. Do you feel like that it's because of maybe Mitch being a free agent next year? Maybe they're not sure about wanting to extend him, like what it would take, something like that.
And it's also Mitchell Robinson insurance in terms of health, by the way. Mitchell Robinson broke 3 bones in his body last year. 3 different times. I mean, when you have those type of bunnies and he's hitting his head on the rim and the backboard every play, I love Mitchell Robinson. He should absolutely start. Nerlens Noel thrived as a backup center, and we saw what he did in those series protecting the rim. I mean, he did everything possible that Nerlens Noel could give you. And I'm okay with the signing just because he is the perfect Tom Thibodeau center. He is very much what Joakim Noah was on the Chicago Bulls team. So I'm all about it. Now, is 3 years a long time? Yes. I don't know, excuse me, what the guarantees were on this exact Nerlens Noel deal, as all of these Knicks deals should be like put onto temporary judgment-free zone until we learn that. Because remember what happened 2 years ago when the Knicks signed Burks and Payton and Gibson and Randall, and everyone was like, why are you giving them 3-year deals? And we found out a couple days later that almost every single one of those deals except for Julius Randle was a team option in its final year. And Julius Randle had a non-guaranteed deal, which finally became guaranteed this season. So I'm ready to just pump the brakes a little bit. I don't want to assume that all of these deals are fully guaranteed. They may have team flexibility there, but Nerlens Noel, it's pricey. I think he would have gotten that money from another team. I think he proved to be that good and that important to a defense that you could really rely on that man. Just if you get beat on the perimeter, that you could funnel whoever beats you off the dribble down into the paint where Nerlens Noel is waiting for you. And he saved the Knicks' ass more times than not, man. So I'm fine. I'm glad he finally got paid, because remember when he turned down that massive deal from, I think it was the Dallas Mavericks at the time, to bet on himself. It didn't work. He fired his agent. He's been on tiny contracts ever since. When you are that important to this Knicks team, and Nerlens Noel's value on the Knicks is worth a lot more than Nerlens Noel on a lot of other teams. That I will give Leon Rose. That I think you had to pay him because he's worth more playing in orange and blue than he would if he went to take like Rashawn Holmes' spot in Sacramento. That would have been a lost cause. But with this Knicks squad and knowing how Mitchell Robinson can't be relied on in terms of his health, I'm okay with it.
All right, thanks, Juan.
Yes, sir. Moving on. There's a lot of you in here. Sheesh. Here we go. I think I found a Chicago fan. Pop 24, talk to me. He's there, I think.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Oh man, this is awesome to be on, man. Thanks for tapping me. So I'm a Chicago Bulls fan. I just want to clear up a couple things. I know people are pretty confused over what we did today. I just want to say, first off,
people need to stop viewing Kobe White as a point guard. He's not a point guard, man. He is a shooting guard. He's a gunner. He's a volume scorer. We don't know if he's going to be efficient in that role yet. We basically just gave Zach LaVine a lockdown defender and Kobe White a lockdown defender off the bench. Caruso is going to be primarily an off-ball player. He's a great passer, not so much a great playmaker, so I think it is a really good fit. I also think it's a good fit in our closing lineup because now we have Lonzo, Caruso, and Zach out there with Pat Williams and Vucevic. So I was very excited by the moves. I don't think they could have done a better job at all today. The Caruso thing was a little bit out of left field. Glad they got the Lonzo thing done as seamlessly as they did because it was a little scary for a while. But yeah, just very pleased by their moves. Curious to see what you think about them.
Well, now that you sold me on it a little bit, because I wasn't all about it until you started laying it out for me in layman's terms. So if we have a closing lineup of Lonzo, LaVine, Caruso, you're saying Pat Williams and then Vucevic?
Yes, sir.
Is Thaddeus Young still on this team?
Thaddeus Young is still on the team. I don't know if he'll be there for the whole season, and Thad played really well, but as far as positional versatility, that lineup just gives you more room for Zach to operate in space. I'm sorry, Thaddeus Young played great last year, but I'm not trying to Thad Young post-hook our way into playoffs, and I don't think that's going to win us any big series.
So I'm about it. I'm about it because Caruso was a phenomenal defender first and foremost. So that's where he made his bread in the first place, and he has learned to fill in on the offensive side and kind of be a slasher. He can make corner threes. He hits the glass. He can run the offense if you need him to, but he's known as a defender first and foremost. So between him and Lonzo, yeah, you've got the backcourt locked down. My concern here is if you go up against a Joel Embiid, or you go up against any team with a true center that operates inside out, how exactly are we stopping anybody at the rim between Vucevic and the paw is great. I'm as big on the paw as anybody. But if you're going to have him go out there and guard the opposing four, and we have Vucevic here anchoring the paint area, are you concerned that you guys are going to turn into a version of the Sacramento Kings East, that every game, or Portland Trailblazers East, and that every game is going to be played in the 120s and 130s because you're giving up layups and offensive rebounds? Who's going to clear out those possessions?
I got two great points for you there. Firstly, if that is the way things go, that's when you do see Kobe White finish games in front of Caruso. If they're high-paced games where we need a lot of scoring, then Kobe White might get some fourth-quarter minutes there. But secondly, as far as Vucevic goes, Vucevic is fine in the paint. He's not going to get bullied. Our problem with Vucevic are when Kobe White was basically a magnet for screens. He couldn't detach from them. So our problem defensively, same thing with Zach LaVine. Our problem defensively was when our guards wouldn't fight over, and now we're making Vooch step out to the free throw line and try to, throw his foot speed out there. That's his biggest weakness. But as far as like Joel Embiid, when we had Wendell Carter out there, Embiid gave us 50, right? Now, we went complete polar opposite, and we get a big bruising center who's not going to get back down very easily. Baby down there, his drop coverage is really good in the pick and roll. So now when you have two guards who are both sticky defensively and can slip through screens and evade screens and plow through screens, that kind of just makes Vucevic's role a little bit, it masks his weaknesses, which is foot speed and stepping out onto guard.
So if Vucevic gets in a foul, Daniel Tice is no longer there to kind of save his ass. In terms of, you could run them both together. Daniel Tice could anchor the paint area. But if Vucevic is either hurt, load managing, in foul trouble, or Thaddeus Young becomes your quad, or does the Paul move to the 5? What are we doing here? I feel like we're putting a lot of burden on Vucevic's shoulders.
That's a big question mark we have left. If they did maneuver the cap in the sign and trade market, it seems like we might have saved our mid-level exception. That's still up in the air. That's nothing's been finalized with that yet. We do need to add big men. We got a second rounder coming over from overseas who people are high on. But yeah, that's the one piece we need to add. We need to dip in, and either with our biannual exception, or if we did preserve our mid-level exception, which would have been a very clever way to add another quality player, that's the last hole we got to fill. That's the last role that we need is that backup big man.
Pop 24, good info, man. I thank you for the call. I'm always going to be Team Kobe White, and I don't know where he exists in this rotation moving forward. And that was assuming, by the way, that closing lineup, which I do like, with the three guards, Caruso, Levine, and Lonzo. There's no room for Kobe out there. Kobe needs to be starting. And I will agree with you that Kobe is more of a combo guard as opposed to a true point. Now, he played point guard at Carolina. The man knows how to run an offense better than anybody, at least in transition. Like, that's, you go to point guard at UNC, that's in your blood. So I'm not going to say he's not a true point guard, maybe just on the Chicago Bulls team. And he kind of proved to us last year that, I mean, he had his cold streaks there, but I feel confident in him either running an offense or being a secondary scorer, which is the definition of a combo guard. So it feels like his time with the Bulls has just, it's gone now, unless somebody gets hurt. So, I mean, Satoransky's not there, but I'm worried about his development and growth. He's going to have a similar path to Larry Markkinen here, running behind those three. And you better believe Caruso and Lonzo are going to be getting a lion's share of the minutes, considering they just got paid. I'm fine. The Twitch comments about him being a microwave six-man, I get it. But he's not a volume shooter and scorer. He's a 30-minute guy that should be on the ball, whether that's him as a point guard or a shooting guard. I don't know. We'll find out. But I'm worried about Kobe just fading into irrelevancy, and I'm worried about how they are going to protect the rim against anyone with a big man. With Rashawn Holmes running now center for the Sacramento Kings once again, Vooch is a much more true center than Rashawn Holmes is, but Vooch is not known to be a defensive stalwart by any means. Quick little side note here from Mark Stein saying that the Lakers and Knicks are in on Carmelo Anthony. Not that something's imminent, but he is fielding interest from both teams and could have something there. The Lakers are now in the business, as are the Miami Heat, of surrounding their team with veteran minimum guys. How can you go out there and find the David Wests of the world, the Leandro Barbosas, the Blake Griffins? You're going to have to do it. You pay all that money. You're going to have to go out there and find guys that want to go ring chasing. You know, who's a name that I would throw out there if I'm the Lakers? Like, no one's ever going to pay Victor Oladipo again after this injury. Victor Oladipo goes ring chasing, being the eighth man on a Lakers bench makes a lot of sense. I don't know who's going to pay him, but that's somebody you go out there and take a flyer on. Scrolling around. Let me know if you're there. Any Cavs fans out there? Cavs fans got to be happy with signing Jared Allen. All of a sudden, you stole Jared Allen last year. Josh, welcome in, my friend. Y'all stole Jared Allen, now you signed him. That paid off. That worked completely. Talk to me, Josh.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Hi. I'm just, enjoying free agency. I've been waiting for this for a while. I know you just touched upon it. I'm a Heat fan myself also. And I know that was kind of my next question. I'm looking at our cap space. I'm looking at all we've signed. I'm very happy we retained Duncan. I love him overall just to see his growth going from undrafted to where he is now. I love Kyle Lowry. I'm sad to see the Dragon go, but listen, I want to win, and I understand he's an upgrade. But all the money we've been giving away, and I still got roster spots. I've got two ways, and I've got a mint deal, obviously waiting for UD around the corner. But I mean, who is out there that's left that we can still sign to fill these roster spots? I'm not really relying on these summer, like these summer squads to fill out 4 or 5 slots. I think we've only got confirmed 9 people signed so far, and I know we may offer Gabe Vincent and UD, which make it 11 potentially. But after that, I mean, how do I pay people?
Summer League is going to be a start. I know you didn't. That's not the answer you wanted to hear, but there could be some spots. Don't you have 2 spots that you can use for 2-way contracts throughout an NBA season?
We do now that we upgraded Struce's which again, Struce is like another Duncan 2.0 to me. So I'm happy to also see him get paid. But again, two ways, let's say hypothetically. So that brings me up to again, depending on what UD does, and even if Gabe Bitts sticks around, maybe 13. So it's just and again, do I want to rely on two ways like Summer League per se? It's a little nerve wracking because again, I'm in a league now. I was bubble. I'm still feeling the effects of the bubble from all that time ago. So this last season was a letdown. So I'm ready to get back to championship basketball.
What if I said Rudy Gay?
I don't hate it. It's just, what do you take? Again, a minimum deal? I was happy, I needed size. So Deadman taking the minimum, I was like, bless the Lord. I was very happy about that. But, would he come for next to nothing?
You know what? I mean, you guys, first of all, are the city of Miami, which is an intrigue. You have a great team, which is number 2. You're a state free income tax state. That's number 3. I mean, Kyle Lowry just made. You know how much money he made, by the way, coming from Toronto to Florida.
Stupid amount.
His contract just went up. If it was the same money, probably just went up near 30%, considering how much they pay in taxes across the border there. But yeah, so Kyle Lowry's happy. You have to imagine, if Rudy Gay wants to go ring chasing, and if I get a $5 million offer from the Detroit Pistons or 2.1 from Miami, you know how much Rudy Gay's made throughout his career? I'm sure that's just a night out for him at this point. It would not surprise me in the least to see someone of that quality of player kind of say, you know what, I'll go on a paid vacation to Miami. I'll be the 4th guy off the bench if you need me. I'm a veteran presence that's here, and it makes a lot of sense to me. It's just a matter of you could convince them to take a discount, and you have to think that you're in the running for Carmelo Anthony as well. I know it's Lakers.
Really? I would put the possible chance to ring chase and go with LeBron. Again, I love LeBron also, just what he did for us in Miami. But there's no way.
No, you are a distant favorite to land Carmelo Anthony, but that's an example of a guy out there that I would consider Rudy Gay to be in the same bucket as. He wants to go team up with his friends and ring chase or be in a super nice city. I mean, Rudy Gay was just living in San Antonio for the past couple of years. You know what? I mean, he's making his money playing basketball. Life could be worse. But Rudy Gay strikes me as someone, certainly, that you guys can use. So that's
I would definitely not say no to Rudy Gay. And then I guess the other question I have is a follow-up. There were always rumors about, it's a pipe dream, it's a fantasy now, obviously, but DeRozan possibly coming to the Heat, reuniting round 2 with Lowry, which would have been obviously great to see. And I still keep seeing reports, 5 Reasons Sports and all these other guys that I follow that are saying, it's not out of the question yet. And I'm just where is it likely DeRozan's going at this point? I mean, it's either a discount with us or maybe a discount with the Lakers, or if he wants to get paid, what are his priorities? What do you think?
It would stun me to see DeMar DeRozan in Miami because of the market economics of what he can just simply get out there. And granted, everyone with cap space just burned it all in the first hour and a half. Everyone blew their load completely there. The Spurs and Knicks and the Kings and all these teams with cap space, they just ate them all up that quick. So if you're the Dennis, if you are the Dennis Schroeders of the world, or the DeMar DeRozans, you were kind of sitting there I'm kind of the prize of this free agency. I'll sit back and see what's up. It's gotten real dry real quick, and you're starting to see those tumbleweeds go across the road there. Again, poor Dennis Schroeder is over there trying to figure out why is my email not working? Why can I receive inbound? He's turning his Wi-Fi on and off, trying to figure out why he's not getting any calls.
Maybe we should have taken the $80 million when they first offered it to him originally.
For sure, and those guys, I think, because they want to go out and make money on the market, are not going to end up in Miami, but. The Twitch chat here had a good recommendation, which is Otto Porter Jr. This is somebody that already made his bank with that Washington Wizards deal. Granted, I'm sure he might still be able to go out there and get a contract or two, but it feels like the type of guy that you're looking for, these 3-and-D swingmen that are willing to come off the bench and play 15 minutes a night during the playoffs max. Are they willing to take a step back in terms of their career trajectory? And I don't know, is Otto Porter still a really good player? Because he was before he got hurt, before he got traded to Chicago. There's a reason why he got paid that amount. And if he goes to Miami on a discount, he could surely show out. That's another guy. It's going to be the Otto Porters. It's going to be the Rudy Gays, the Mellos. All of
Well,
them.
again, I didn't even think put us in the realm. I really think like Melo to the Lakers or Portland even. I know he loves it there, so I didn't really. I guess I'll put us third, a distant third, as a possibility. Who knows what that is? But no, those are good names. Those names actually give me hope. I just want to have a consistent. I can't have Jimmy and Bam and Lowry on the floor the entire time. I need someone to anchor us, and hopefully, Hero builds off what he did in the bubble, and we'll just scratch this last season off as just we'll forget about it.
Got it, Josh. Thank you for the call, my friend.
Appreciate it, man.
Moving on. It's funny. More of you want to talk about free agency sometimes than you do the finals or the playoffs itself. There's a lot of you in here. It's funny to me. All right, who's up next? I like how we're getting around to different teams here. Damn, a lot of Heat fans, man. God damn. Where y'all come from? Let's go over to the Board Yacht Club, shall we? Swift Pineapples. Welcome in.
Hello?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
I can.
What's up, yo? How's it going?
I'm doing good. What's on your mind?
Okay, so I'll get it out of the way. I'm a Lakers fan, just to say that up front.
No.
Watching AC go to the Bulls and reunite with Lonzo hurts, but glad to see him get paid. I had a question on Dennis Schroeder. So obviously, you saw from the name RFP, $84 million. Who is he even looking to go to at this point? Like, is he going to take a 1-year deal for a lower amount of money, or
Yeah.
try and sign and trade?
Yeah, I mean, it is enabling us time to get these jokes off on Schroeder, but I think the reason why it's taking so long is they're finalizing that sign and trade either to Washington or potentially a third team as well. You have to, because where else is there to go? At this, like, the Knicks gave the money to Derrick Rose for that point guard position, so where exactly is Dennis Schroeder going to get that type of coin from right now? I don't think it's possible unless it's in a sign and trade, because that's the only way that you could take on a contract of that size and go over the cap. No one's got cap left. And I hope he finds a fraction of what he was asking for, but it's dry out there, man.
Yeah, definitely. All right, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right. You got it. that was a quick one. Going over to Brandon T. Looks like a Nuggets fan. I forgot Jeff there. You guys got Jeff Green tonight. Now you got 2 Jay Greens on the team.
Hey, sorry, Wobbit. Can you hear me?
I can.
Nuggets fan. So I kind of had 2 things. One, I wanted to say, I was wondering, I feel like Nuggets getting Jeff Green at 2 years for $10 million was kind of I don't want to say an absolute steal, but very surprised that somebody else didn't make a better offer. What do you think kind of played into that? And also, I get a little worried defensively because obviously Jokic isn't an absolute liability, but he's certainly not known for his defense. And so when we lose such a big body like JaVale to the Suns, I'm kind of instantly thinking we also have that 4 or 5 from Arizona. I forget his name right now, but feels like we kind of are losing a lot of size and a lot of defensive ability, but that's kind of what Malone is known for. So it kind of feels like we're in a bit of a pickle or a predicament there in my mind initially.
JaMichael's back, right? He's there.
Yes, they signed him for, I want to say 2 years. I think $17 million or something like that, $16 million. Then they got Jeff for 2 years at $10 million.
Yeah, JaMichael Green is an underrated defender in terms of he can guard power forwards and centers. It's not ideal, but he can if you need him to. certainly you would want some form of the days of Jeremy Grant and Mason Plumlee surrounding Jokic in the bubble. Those days are gone, and it's like we took them for granted because of how easy they made it look defending opposing teams' bigs the way that they did. But now that it's just Jokic, Jeff Green steps in there onto every team that he's on. What's the is it O negative? Is the universal blood that O negative is the universal donor they can give to any other blood type? Jeff Green feels like that of basketball. That you just pick him up and you drop him onto a spinning globe and he'll fit right into wherever he goes. And Jeff Green, despite his age and despite his track record, still has the ability to play defense when you need him to. He was at times the Nets' best bench unit player there in some important series. And while I'm sitting here watching, there was just a Woj bomb that dropped there. Semi Ojeleye getting signed by the Milwaukee Bucks. That's the type of guy that's like defense first, defense oriented. That you're like, damn, I wish we would have a role for him on our team. I kind of get it. And Will Barton can play defense too when you need him. Gary Harris could have played defense for you guys, but you traded his ass. You know what I mean? You let go a lot of these good individual defenders. But dare I say, there is a guy on your bench at some point that needs to see the floor that can block any shot in the air at any time. And if you're looking for a backup center to run 10 to 15 minutes that can protect the paint, he certainly needs to put on a few pounds. But I need to say who I'm talking about.
They keep him locked in his cage.
Why?
But yeah, it's Mike Malone, man. Just like with MPJ, I mean, it was sometimes difficult to watch, but you could such inside things too. I wonder that like we don't really know about. Could be like a young kid, just like bad mental practice. But it seems like Malone's willing to stretch that out and like make a point that it kind of does get alarming. Like when you're in a mid-market, kind of like Denver, and you have guys like MPJ that he get as much money as he wants. Those things like Malone kind of punishing you when you were younger. I imagine you would still think about that, and so that's also something too. It's always something.
Now that Bol is on the Nuggets Summer League roster, I hope he plays more than the standard like 2 games that they already like in the league for a couple of years guys. They usually play 1 or 2 games and they bounce. I want Bol to run as many games so he can prove to this Nuggets team that I can be the one, that you can put me at the center position. We already know what he can do on the offensive side. But if he can prove he can bang with these guys down low, and that he doesn't get pushed off the block in 2 seconds and tumbleweed his way through the air because he's too skinny. If he's either A, able to put on some pounds, or B, play bigger, the size of the fight in the dog than the size of the dog in the fight, if he can prove to us that he can anchor the paint area for those amount of minutes, I am all about finally. Like, why did you draft the guy? Why? I understand it was late. There's not a whole lot of liability there in terms of if he plays or not, but it feels like at some point you want to give him the burn against real NBA front courts to see if he can fulfill the potential that we all have foreseen throughout these years and during garbage times. I know I'm as big of a Bol fan, probably even more than I should be, but I promise if you are looking for some interior defense that you have just talking about there, that does Jeff Green give you that? Probably not. JaMychal Green, he'll do his best. Will Barton will do his best. But give Bol an opportunity. I promise you won't be let down because at the very least, he can make up for it on the other end.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Got it. Thanks, man.
Have a good
Bol. We all worship at the Church of Bol after this summer league. I promise you. How do people not see it? What else does he need to do? He needs to get bigger. He needs to get bigger. He needs to grow muscles. Scrolling around, looking for someone. By the way, before I take the next call there. No, thank you. Not bigger, thicker. Yeah, he doesn't need to grow any taller. He needs to get thicker. The same way Giannis got thicker, Bol needs to be on that diet. Whatever Giannis did, Bol needs to watch that tape. He needs to get swole. Yes. Speaking of the Milwaukee Bucks, after they lose PJ Tucker tonight, and the Miami Heat just add PJ Tucker out of nowhere, you will, Miami Heat fans, that was the one guy we hadn't mentioned yet, you will feel very thankful as soon as April and May come around that PJ Tucker is on your roster, okay? PJ Tucker is awesome. He's not going to give you shit during the regular season. He's too busy out there buying new outhouses for his shoes. But when the playoffs come around, we saw what he gives you. And when you lose Iguodala and you lose Trevor Ariza, and you replace him with PJ Tucker, I know it's a 2-year deal, but I feel pretty damn good about that as a Miami Heat fan. And also, another side note, I know Duncan Robinson got paid. Was it 5 years, $90 million for a jump shooter? And then I was looking at the Doug McDermott deal in San Antonio. I'm like, would I rather have Doug McDermott for a third of the cost? And you know what the answer was? No. Duncan Robinson is that much of a difference maker when he's on. That 5%, we are talking about the second best statistically great shooter in NBA history, only behind Steph Curry, in terms of averaging 5 threes a game. Y'all are going to make me pull this stat up just to prove it, because I know someone out there is going to be like, what the hell is he talking about? Let me get you the stat real quick. If I ever stop coughing. It's out there somewhere. Give me a second. There it is. Highest three-point percentage in NBA history on 5+ attempts per game. Stephen Curry, 43.3. Duncan Robinson, 42.3. He's 1% behind the greatest shooter of all time. So, is it worth paying that man 2x Dougie McBuckets? I'm going to say yes. He's that good. And he struggled at times, of course. All shooters do, but I think that's the one guy that I'm okay with emptying the clip for. Before I take the next call, there's a great comment here in the Twitch section. If you're not in here, by the way, in the Twitter Spaces, hop on over. Jay Humphrey says, there's a Rockets fan here. I'm a Rockets fan. PJ will be 1 for 7 with 4 turnovers in the regular season and your favorite player at the end of the first round. That is the most accurate way to put it. Every night, PJ Tucker is going to go 1 of 4 or 1 of 7. And that's it. Just get used to it. Going over to Will. Talk to me, Will. Yes. Yes, I can hear you.
Hey, how's it going? I'm a Pacers fan. So I think, we did a little bit of good business today with TJ McConnell and Torrey Craig. But with not signing McDermott, I'm worried about big man depth. And I'm kind of wondering if anybody's even out there to get. Because I think Isaiah Jackson's a little too raw to do anything this season. So I'm wondering if you have any thoughts on that.
Torrey Craig was a good signing, and it's going to be an underrated signing because, first of all, it's Torrey Craig, and second of all, it's the Pacers, and it happened in the middle of the madness. But Torrey Craig is a good signing. You asked about front court depth, though. Am I not mistaken that you guys have 2? I mean, Miles Turner's not. Is Miles Turner not there anymore? Am I going crazy?
No, he's there, and Sabonis is there, but we have, Goga off the bench. And then, McDermott was able to come in at the 4 a lot. We can't do that anymore, so I'm a little bit worried about that. I don't think Isaiah Jackson's really ready yet.
So Aaron Holiday's gone. You got T.J. McConnell back. McDermott's gone. The Pacers, I've said this a couple times now, but on paper, the Indiana Pacers should be a top 4 team in the Eastern Conference. Y'all have crazy talent. Brogdon, Sabonis, Miles Turner, Karis LeVert, T.J. Warren, Jeremy Lamb, Justin Holiday, T.J. McConnell. That's a squad, man. And that's not even including your rookies yet. That's a squad.
Well, they can't all stay out on the floor at the same time.
That's
I don't think
correct.
We had a solid lineup at all last season.
The best ability is availability. But if that team ever found a way to just be healthy at the same time, I don't really think you have to add a whole lot more to that. And Torrey Craig is included in that list of guys, the Jeff Greens and the PJ Tuckers of the world, that you pick them up and you just drop them in. They'll fit in anywhere because has one purpose. And it's out there to either guard the opposing team's best player and just stand in the corner and make threes, or stand on the three-point perimeter and make threes. And he's not going to need the ball in his hands. He'll never be a liability. So this team is pretty damn good, man, and I'm going to stand by that. I did last year, and of course they all ended up getting hurt. But if they can ever play at the same time, how soon we forget that Miles Turner was leading the NBA there in blocks, which means when he's healthy, Domantas Sabonis doesn't need to play at the center position. He can be kind of a point power forward at times, like he thrives in. Karis LeVert was on and off the floor. T.J. Warren's got his foot issue. Do we not remember what that man did in the bubble? Like the Pacers are going to be just fine, man, if they stay healthy. That's a big if, but. I'm
not to mention Rick Carlisle for a season.
That too, and you actually have a coach there now that the players don't despise. So in addition to all of that, you have to figure there's a perfect storm brewing here of, all right, if we could stay healthy, we have a guy here who has a long history of managing big personalities like this. He's been in Indiana before. It makes a lot of sense that the Pacers are going to have a bounce back season. I'm not just saying that because I'm talking to a Pacers fan. I'd be more than happy to tell you your team sucks. You better prepare for it. But this is a good team. It is.
Yeah, I agree. I just wish we had done something in the front court, but...
Well, you can consider Torrey Craig to be that front court move. He's very much a power forward in a lot of ways, just not on the offensive side. You don't need any more offense. You got Karis LeVert. You're lucky if Karis LeVert ever passes the ball in the first place. He's got Miles Turner and Domantas Sabonis out there, in addition to Brogdon. Like, there's only one ball. Y'all don't need another front court guy that demands usage percentage to be effective. Torrey Craig is the perfect complement to a bunch of guys that need the ball in their hands, in the post, or near it to be productive.
That is true. Just wish we had gotten maybe more of a pure 4 or 5 for bench minutes, but, he might be able to fill in.
Oh, good, Will. Thank you for the call, my friend. I've been asked by the Twitch chat to talk about Portland. Well, when Damian Lillard goes in front of the cameras there and says, I don't feel like this is a championship contending team, and your response is to sign Cody Zeller and Norm Powell back. That was the expectation, that you're bringing those guys back. In addition to something else. Cody Zeller is not the answer. Zach Collins not there anymore. Now, I am very much team trade C.J. McCollum for Ben Simmons. But Daryl Morey over here thinks he's the desolation of smog sitting on that golden coin chest in the mine on Ben Simmons, over here asking for your 3 best players, 4 first-round draft picks, like he's over here trading Kevin Durant, and your owner to Macarena in front of you at his demand and his discretion. Who does he think he is, putting Ben Simmons onto this I understand you're trying to establish his value and set the market, but the fucking cojones on you, the audacity to ask those terms for that man right now. The C.J. McCollum-Ben Simmons switch makes a lot of sense from a basketball standpoint. I think the Blazers we saw the burden that was on Nurkic's shoulders there for the past couple seasons, defending the paint area and protecting the rim against the Lakers, against the Nuggets. It's all on Nurkic, and that just can't be sustainable. Well, that's why we signed Robert Covington. That's why we signed Derrick Jones Jr. There are perimeter defenders to make sure that we can contest any second chance opportunities around the rim. It ain't working because CJ and Dame get blown by every opportunity they get. Ben Simmons would solve a lot of those issues. Y'all have plenty of shooting. And also, Dame not needing to bring the ball up the court opens up his game a lot more, in my opinion. Coming off dribble, handoff, screens, Simmons out in transition. CJ and Dame are just mirrors of each other in so many different ways. It's not necessary. It's not what you need. You can score plenty of points. Moving on. One One of these days I'm going to lose this cough. I've had this cough since the end of the season. What's up, Will?
Rob, how you doing?
Very coffee at the moment. What's up with you?
I was just thinking, as an Oklahoma City Thunder fan, people are saying, oh, this place, they're going to sign and trade. What's a realistic team and player that will dump a bad contract into Oklahoma City's lap and send us a goodie basket of maybe a pick or two?
Well, I assume you're talking about moving Kemba Walker here, right?
Yes.
Well, he makes $36 million for the next...
Something like, it's disgusting.
So it's a 2-year contract too. So we need to, if you're going to trade him, you got to match contracts here one way or another. And I always thought there for a second before the Knicks made all these moves that they were going to leave that cap space open to make a move for someone like Kemba, or make a move for Colin Sexton. That doesn't seem to be the case anymore. But how many teams are left out there that need a point guard that bad, willing to take on a contract, not knowing Kemba's health just yet? Kemba feels like the type of guy that's going to get traded at the deadline for something once teams can figure out if he can be a shadow of his old self. I don't think that happens in this current summer, but it may at some point. And you're going to need a team that either has an injury, has a big expiring deal that they can incentivize Oklahoma City to take on, because Presti's going to love every major expiring deal. Num, give me those. Like Pac-Man eating up all those little dots. If you have a big expiring deal, send it over there. And, Presti's going to send you back Kemba because there's that extra year. So I don't know who specifically is that, because it seems like all these teams now have what they need. Miami just signed Kyle Lowry. That point guard position is gone. Do you trade him to Philadelphia? Like, for what, though? That's not an upgrade over Ben Simmons. How many of these teams can take on that deal with current contracts that they have? I don't know. I feel like he's going to be on the team for at least a couple of weeks there, and they'll let the season play out a little bit before they make a move.
Appreciate the realism, Rob. I love your stuff. Thank you very much.
Got it, Will. Thank you. Going over to Eric. Maybe not. Let's try Claude Clement. Welcome in, Claude. There he is. Love a good connector. Quick connector. Did I jinx it? Apparently. Going once. Going twice. Next time. Bad boy KP. Welcome in.
Thank you. How you doing tonight?
Not too bad. How about yourself, my friend?
Can't complain. I had a question. How else could the Pelicans botch free agency?
I just thank you for bringing this up, because I had forgotten there for a moment that they not only signed Devontae Graham to 4 years. What's the number here? 443 or something?
Yes.
Okay. Let's hope that final year is a team option. I will give them the benefit of the doubt, not knowing the terms of that just yet. But a first-round pick. Are there protections on that thing? That thing better be protected 1 through 30.
I'm hoping.
A first-round pick? Devontae?
For him. In a signing trade.
Okay. So and I like Devontae. Devontae is a serviceable player on pretty much any team out there. But he is not a catch-and-shoot guy. He's an off-the-dribble shoot guy. I don't trust him to be a point guard to run an offense. I would only trust him really to fill up the box score in terms of points and field goal attempts. I make the comparison all the time, but he feels like a smaller version of Monte Ellis in a lot of ways. And God bless Monte, but I wouldn't want Monte running my damn team, especially with Zion Williamson out there.
Yeah, they're botching free agency.
So let's go through their depth chart real quick, because I am in love with Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Lewis Jr. When they were playing, when I think Bledsoe was hurt and Lonzo was hurt, there was a stretch there in which Lewis and Nah were running back-to-back games for a week straight, and those dudes fly. And I remember Nah hitting like a game winner, and I would be, if we're going to go full rebuild here and go around Zion and our young guys, I would have been all about running those two out there together, because we don't have to worry about Bledsoe anymore. Of course, you have Zion on your team. You're like, well, should we try and win games? Well, you're not winning no damn championship with Zion as your best player. And it's also great that you found a way to get Steven Adams off the team, because he's, God bless us all, but he's a 7-foot zombie. So I would have running this team like with Nah, Lewis, and Zion would have been the dream. But now that Devontae's there, Devontae's usage on this team in particular, I guarantee will be north of 20, at least 20%. So he's going to be on the ball, chucking a lot of shots. And when he's going off the dribble, launching from 30 feet away, that ball is not touching Zion's hands unless it comes off the rim into there. So am I missing anybody? Did they trade for someone that I'm not aware of that's on this team currently?
No, I don't want to talk about the Bulls trade or sign and trade with Lonzo. That was terrible too.
So you bring on Garrett Temple, you bring on Satoransky. So Sato and Devontae are your starting backcourt right now?
Yeah, looks that way.
Ugh.
That's what I said.
At least you have Willie Green.
Yeah, that's nice. Pick up the coach, but that team, we're gonna be bad. We're going to be bad.
So I'm going through your roster. It's not updated, but okay, at least James Johnson came off the books. You lose Lonzo, he's off the books. Jackson Hayes is still there, that's good. Kira Lewis Jr. is there, that's good. Josh Hart is gone. Alexander Walker's still there. Wes Iwindu is still there. Great. Oh my God. I mean, there's now that Satoransky. Yes. Okay. So we have Satoransky, Garrett Temple, Brandon Ingram, Valanciunas, who's going to be expiring. He's probably not even going to finish this season on that team. Yeah, I mean, I don't know where we go from here. And here's the problem with that trade too: is by bringing in Sato, that means a lot less playtime for those two guys. Maybe I'm higher on Kira and Alexander Walker than other people are, but those 2 weeks when they got 30 plus minutes per game, they looked awesome. They are so fast, and Alexander Walker hit so many clutch shots for them. There was 2 games back to back against the Spurs I can remember. It was all Alexander Walker down the stretch. Don't you want to play that out? He's still on his rookie deal.
Leaving that they would be starting.
They may end up starting by the end of the season because this team is so far back. But every year it feels like it goes to waste now that you don't make the playoffs with Zion, right? Because
and we're just wasting talent. We have Zion and we have Ingram. We should be putting things around them. We have nice young talent. They should be out running the floor.
It's really hard. It's really hard to think that a team with Zion and Brandon, because Brandon Ingram is all-star. I mean, he's a closer. He's great. Zion is great. Jackson Hayes, I think, will be great. And the 2 guys I mentioned, but I don't know. This roster feels broke. I need to see it play out first before I absolutely bury him. But running Ingram, Zion, Nah, and I guess Garrett Temple, Jesus. I mean, it's slim pickings, man. I feel your pain. There's a lot of talent here. If you're going to bottom out and just go for a full rebuild, you would figure keep spitting Satoransky around and let these young guys run. And then Zion's not going to want to extend. And that's the problem here is, can you afford to rebuild right now?
Exactly.
And Ingram signed through 2025. So, I mean, of course, every team would line up around the block to take him in a big deal. But you don't want to trade him, especially with New Orleans is never getting any free agent to sign down there anyway. So when you get Brandon Ingram to sign to that deal, you feel like you're in win now with those two between Ingram and Zion. That's a predicament, man. It's a tough spot to be. Maybe they'll spin around Naw or Kyra, one of these guys, to go out there and get someone that's a little bit more serviceable. But I feel your pain, and I don't know if Devontae Graham is the answer just yet.
We'll have to see. Thank you.
Yes, sir. A couple of Woj bombs. Sorry, I was stuttering there a little bit because Woj was blowing up my phone left and right here. We have, let's go through these here real quick for those of you that just missed them. We have Trae Young has agreed to his rookie extension, 5 years, $207 million. Good for him, and he's worth every penny. Oklahoma City. All of that talk. Remember when they're trying to convince us that SGA might get traded? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who is, in my opinion, the most underrated player in the NBA, period. There is no explaining that. 5 years, $172 million rookie extension max. He is awesome. I would not, there is very few players that I would ever trade that man rule for. Take a couple more. Then we're going to go watch Team USA here, shall we? Cass, why are you lurking in there? What's up, Josh? Cass, why don't you come up here and talk to me? It's been a minute. You can't just lurk and not think I can't see you. That's the problem. You got to log in with your burners. That's why when Kevin Durant was out here torching everyone in Twitter Spaces, I'm not logging in with my damn main account. I want him to see me and call me out. Josh, what's up? Wait, who's this?
Hi, it's Claude.
Oh, you're still here. What's up?
I'm fine. I want to know a little about the Sixers. Can you talk about the Sixers?
Well, until they do something with Ben Simmons, it's going to be an open-ended question there. Danny Green not coming back is a problem. Danny Green, as much as we want to make fun of the man, he's very memeable. He's trending on Twitter every single day, but he is the prototypical 3-and-D guy that is necessary to any championship team. He's got 3 rings with 3 different teams. He's been there before, and I think he's a vital guy to lose. And the guys that I've spoken to say that he is not thrilled with coming back potentially to Philadelphia. But until Ben Simmons is moved, you feel like they're kind of stuck in the mud there in terms of things they can do because they don't know what their cap space is going to look like. And do we need this guy in a trade to any destinations? They're kind of just at the mercy of moving and then reacting from there. So they're going to be late bloomers in terms of this particular offseason.
Can you? Would you prefer that we can go for a trade? Can we trade Tobias or Ben Simmons? Because for me, I prefer to trade Tobias.
I don't know who's going to take on. Thanks for the call, Claude. I don't know who's going to take on that contract. Ever. Makes a shit ton of money. Wow, Cass dipped. SMH Cass. Tobias Harris not going anywhere. Who's going to take on Tobias Harris? I didn't. So I just muted that guy. I muted him because I didn't want to boot him, and he just appeared. I thought he was going to disconnect, and he just appeared out of nowhere and just started talking. Fucking Spaces, man. Is this a Browns fan? I mean, is this a Cleveland fan? I'll take a Browns fan. Justin. Jared Allen, the new mayor of Cleveland. Cleveland, this is for you. Jared Allen, this is for you. That was the most adorable moment of Giannis' season, by the way. It was after he won All-Star MVP. Milwaukee, this is for you. He was parodying LeBron. It was so funny. I forgot about that. Justin, talk to me. You just need to unmute your mic first. Oh, and he drops. Oh, my God. After all that hype. All these lurkers. I got so many lurkers in here. Wonder how many people in here are just screen recording, waiting for me to say something stupid. I'd say it's about 5%. Milwaukee, this is for you. That's so funny. I want to go watch that video. Ariel. There he is.
Hey, how you doing, Ro?
What up?
This is good, man. Appreciate all you do for the NBA community, man.
Much appreciated.
Really good thing, man. I just want to talk about the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? From what we're hearing is that the Lakers are still pursuing Buddy Hield. They're not giving up on that Buddy Hield trade. They try to offer Dennis Schroeder to almost everybody. At this point, Dennis Schroeder's he's gone. So they're trying to fill out the roster. So what do you think they should do? We're hearing options of Melo, Patty Mills, Buddy Hield. So what do you think the Lakers should do right now with the rest of the roster?
First of all, how do they get Buddy Hield there if it's not through a buyout? And they don't have anything else to trade at this point, do they? Do they have a single tradable player on that roster anymore?
From what Zach Lowe is saying, they're trying to sign and trade Dennis Schroeder, trying to find a third team because
that's a good point, actually. Yeah.
Sacramento don't want Dennis Schroeder, so they're trying to find a third team in between.
I find it funny that Pelinka's in the street here next to the Apple cart where you could buy the fruit in the cart on the corner of Figueroa over there. That Pelinka's out there waving Dennis Schroeder around, begging teams to come complete this three-team trade so I can get Buddy Hield in here. I don't know if he's going to be successful doing it, but I don't. Schroeder's the only way for them to actually, I think, legally get Buddy Hield onto a Lakers roster. But of course, you have to think the likes of all those names I mentioned with the Miami Heat before, the Rudy Gays of the world, the Carmelo Anthonys. Those are the guys who the Lakers are going to have to go out there and sign and go ring chasing here in Los Angeles. There's plenty of traction there. Most of these players live in LA to begin with. And the way Patty Mills is currently playing in Tokyo right now, I sure as hell wouldn't take no damn veteran minimum in the NBA. I'm going out there and getting paid. He's one of the best players in this tournament right now.
Yeah, you can take the mid-level exception. I don't know if you heard about that. Mark Stein made a point about it. With Caruso going to Chicago, they actually made a sign and trade with Caruso going to Chicago. So that opens up denying the full mid-level exception for the Lakers right now. So not only they have the full mid-level exception, but they have the veteran minimums to offer other teams to potentially persuade, other veterans out there to take that vet. For me, I think Patty Mills, they should offer Patty Mills the full mid-level exception. I think Lakers need a guy off the bench that could create his own shot and that could actually run the offense. We lost Caruso. Who we gonna count on? THT.
Yeah, I was about to say, isn't that man THT though?
Yeah, but I know THT's still young, man. He's still growing. I still don't fully trust THT at this point, but yeah. And we still need shooters. Wayne Ellington and Trevor Ariza is not gonna fix Lakers shooting. So we still need a couple knockdown shooters that we could rely on. With LeBron in Miami, when he had Ray Allen, and he had Miller, guys that he knew, Shane Battier, guys that he knew, that when he passed them the ball, they would knock down, they'll knock down the three. We don't have that right now on our roster.
Well, that man would be Carmelo Anthony, but they need to go out and get him. Somebody that LeBron trusts that he can pass the ball to there and get a shot up and score. Especially with KCP gone, Caruso gone. Wayne Ellington is on that list of guys that can fill that role for me personally. I don't know how much PT Ariza is going to get in a playoff series, but you have to figure it's Russ, Anthony Davis, LeBron, Wayne Ellington's going to be on the floor pretty much in crunch time, and who's kind of that fifth spot needs to be kind of a utility roamer out there, somebody that can float, slash, hit the glass, do the dirty work. You know, how do you find that role? And I think it's TBD on that.
Yeah, well, thanks a lot, Wolf.
You got it. Thanks for the call, Ariel.
No problem.
Wobe is in the building. Going over to Keith Morrissey. Keith Morrissey. Welcome in.
Oh, my bad. Right, I just talked and gave my entire spiel on mute. What a hysterical time. I'm just getting late, but I'm assuming we already talked Knicks, right?
We did, but it's a topic of conversation, so by all means, go ahead.
I mean, I think with the Knicks, this is when first I threw my phone, got into bed, got under the covers, wanted to cry for a little bit. Then I started thinking about it, and I was like, I noticed with everything, like, first thing that jumped off to me is everything was 3 years. Even with Fournier, they have the team option, so like really it's 3 years, 57. And I was thinking, like, I feel like they want to establish a playoff culture. Like, obviously they're not going to be like top 4 seed, right? Like, when you're looking at everything for the next 3 years, but like, even if they could just keep doing like 5, 6, 7, I feel like that would be the best thing for the Knicks. I know, like, I was the biggest, like, keep all the picks, cap space, go all in and hope like everybody comes. But I just, like, don't think that people are going to come to the Knicks unless, like, they can prove, like, similar to, like, how the Nets did it, how they started, like, changing everything around. Like, I feel like it's going to take a way longer time than people are, like, okay with, for the Knicks to, like, start to get, like, actual dudes in here, like, big name guys. And I feel like it's going to be, like, the new wave of guys, like the younger crop that they'll be able to attract. I don't know. I obviously missed everything, so I just wanted your thoughts on, like, what they're doing, and if, like, you think, like, you'd agree with that at all. Like, obviously, I know, like, you're the keep the cap and everything, and it was also hysterical seeing you on the timeline. Just the damn it tweet literally was making me crackle, but yeah, I just wanted your thoughts on that.
You got it, Keith. The Knicks' biggest selling points are, of course, I mean, I'm always team keep the cap open unless there is a superstar that's on a list of about 5 to 10 guys that automatically makes you championship contender. And the Knicks, I think, proved what your point was of building towards something, being playoff ready. Could you be the Karis LeVert Brooklyn Nets that's just ready we're ready right now for superstars to come here and turn things right around. The Knicks are there right now, but they used that cap space tonight on Derrick Rose and Evan Fournier. So getting any of those guys in free agency is not a solution at the very moment, and it may not have been for the foreseeable future. There was only Kawhi Leonard qualifies as one of those players. He's hurt, by the way, but he would qualify as one of those guys that you would keep your cap space open for to make a run at. And the assumption is he was going back to Los Angeles. So the Knicks went out there and used their cap space on players to kind of assure them 6th place in the Eastern Conference for the next couple of years. Their biggest, the same way that Karis LeVert, the same way that Jared Allen, I'm just using that Brooklyn Nets team as an analogy that you used, to prove to the rest of the NBA and the world that we're ready, we're 1 star, we're 2 stars away from being championship contenders. And that's not going to be Julius Randle, it's not going to be Derrick Rose. I think R.J. Barrett and the Obi Toppins, those guys, the Mitchell Robinsons, those are going to have to be the dudes who take, maybe Quentin Grimes go up and be one of them as well. That they're going to have to step up and prove that they can one day in the very near future become potential all-stars. The rest of the league sees that while they're still on their rookie deals. And you know what? We'll talk now. That if there's a disgruntled star, we in R.J. Barrett, felt like the piece that we're willing to move him for. That may be how the Knicks get it done. is in disgruntled trade demand world. It exists. It very much exists. And I don't know. I'm just kind of like being therapeutic here about what the Knicks did, because I would have preferred to go out there and spend that money on Caruso. I would have given the money to Caruso and Gary Trent Jr. before I gave it to Derrick Rose again. Just a personal opinion of mine, but that's not the way the cookie crumbled here. So it's going to be really reliant on 2 or 3 players on the Knicks to prove that we're ready to take that next step, and we built through the draft and we built through the farm system in which it makes it appealing to these major free agents to join the team. Keith, thank you for the call. All right. It is 12:15 now. Hey, I am going to end us a little early tonight because we got a big game here that's going to tip off in about 15 minutes. I'm sure there will be more to discuss tomorrow. It's just night 1 of free agency here. So as DeMar DeRozan gets signed, where Carmelo Anthony goes, how the Lakers fill out these rosters, and we get more details also on a lot of these deals and where the pick protection is for this New Orleans Pelicans trade with Devontae Graham, and is Derrick Rose getting all 3 years guaranteed if you're the Knicks, or are there team options involved? Those are important little. I mean, we get like that. We get the Woj bombs originally, but the details take some time. And as the dust settles here, we will continue to discuss. So for all of you on Twitter Spaces, thank you for taking the time. We will be back. It's also the first Radio Roulette of the 20 new campaign. And I'm going to hop out over to Twitch just for a quick after party. And then if you want to come over there and chat real quick, so be it. See y'all later. What up? Dinwiddie went to Washington? Yeah, I'm not. You don't need to do the. I'm not going to do the full ceremonies tonight because I want to go. Get ready for the game. I'm gonna go like drink something. No royalty-free music. Not tonight. Just a couple quick questions, and thank God. I'll just say thank God Spencer Dinwiddie is not a New York Knick. I am very thankful for that. Enjoy him, Washington. The answers of which, who's going to be our point guard if it's not Dennis Schroeder? Who's going to be our point guard? Well, the answer now is not Ish Smith. It's not Dennis Schroeder. It's Spencer Dinwiddie. Congratulations. I forgot about our Kyle Lowry Toronto Raptors fans. I forgot y'all existed. Y'all haven't even seen the team play in the last 2 years. Do you guys still support the Raptors? Of course you did. Can you explain why you think the Lakers are winners on the day 1 of free agency? Because they surrounded their team with what I consider to be championship level 3-point shooting, 3-and-D. Stat of the night. Cody Zeller is the last Bobcat draft pick to leave the Charlotte franchise. End of an era. Yeah, somebody asks, is Trevor Ariza championship level? Well, no, but he's a 3-and-D guy. I know Wayne Ellington is. And I'm going to assume they're going to get a Melo, and they're going to bring back THT as well. So it's a pretty decent amount of 3-point shooting. Otto Porter went to Golden State. That is good for them. I'm sure it was for a very small amount of money. How many... Not sleeping until DeRozan is a Bull? Like, bro, how many backcourt players do you want on Chicago? So, yeah, you went for the minimum? Well, hopefully Otto Porter gives you what Kelly Oubre can't. Kate, why are you so upset? Are you sad? Are you sad that you lost Kyle? Am I messing with poker chips right now? Not really. I don't know, man. I would love to take Kobe White off the Chicago's hands. Sorry, I miss this is a dark day. Would you explain why? Is it involving Kyle? You got Gary Trent. This whole time, Raptors fans telling me that we're going to get Gary Trent Jr. back. And Norm Powell got the same deal that Gary got at that age. I would rather have Gary Trent Jr. all day than Norman Powell at that number. Thoughts on Tice and the Rockets deal? I hope he likes rebounding because he's going to have to do a lot of it. Toronto is a ship without a rudder. We are floating free in Lake Ontario. Are you listening to Drake right now or something? Are you down bad? What is wrong? There's nothing wrong with your team right now. You always knew Kyle Lowry was going to leave. Yeah, we didn't talk any Team USA. They better get their shit together tonight. They're going up against the defending World Cup champions right now in about 10 minutes. What are the Celtics doing? Apparently putting together about the NBA Jam team. Not worried about any centers. Do they have a single guy in their front court not named Taco Fall at the moment? The Pelicans should inquire about Kobe White, but they're all out of first-round picks now. After Devontae. You think the Jazz could pull off Rudy Gay? Their mid-level exception. Oh, well, that's an interesting thought in regards to Rudy Gay will only sign in Miami or Los Angeles to go ring chasing. Well, if Utah could give him a shit ton of money, that makes a lot of sense. Yes. Robert Williams and Al Horford. Yes, I forgot. Thank you. Obviously, and Moses Brown. Okay, so your front court is fine. It's just very not memorable names. Robert Williams is there, as is Al Horford. Oh, Moses went to the Mavs? Ouch. Got two Detroits to keep up with right now. So I think the Bucks owners cheaped out on PJ Tucker deal after... No, because they signed Semi. Semi gives you a lot of what PJ Tucker did. Yes, I'm ready. I'm on a plane at the end of the week, ready to go play some poker. Am I going to pick the Clippers to win the championship again? If I learned my lesson, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, can't put the blame on you. Am I going to fool me 3 times? Fuck the peace sign. Load the chopper, make it rain on you. Did I golf today? I did golf today. Shot a 79. So you know I played so much golf as a kid, I can just walk onto the golf course and shoot a 79 and not even fucking care about it. I play like 2 rounds of golf a year. I should Mike Malone them when the next time they call me Wobe. There's been a lot of Wobes. There was even a robe today. That was a humble brag, wasn't it? Just a little bit. I take enough L's in here that I can humble brag a couple times. That would have been a good Punderdome. Coughing Wob. Wob Coughington. There you go. I'm never going to take this risk brace off because it siphons out who's new to this chat. And someone asked, what happened to your wrist? I know you're new. All right. It is time for tip-off. I will bring back the closing ceremonies at some point. Not tonight. It's good seeing you guys, as always. Let's go, Team USA.